So I could do the a studio recording in here. Ooh, shabba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The neo soul.
Mhm.
Oh, we live.
Oh, we live.
We
Oh my
live,
gosh.
baby.
Okay, ready?
Yup.
All right. Hello, everyone. You are listening to the Hustler Spirit Show, where your hustler spirit and humble mentality will fuel your heart, mind, and soul. Today, my name is Myleah Akers, your host for the Hustler Spirit Show, and I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Xavier Duckett. Nice to meet you.
And we have our
Yeah, guest.
I'm Jordan Bell. How y'all doing today?
Doing well, doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Thank
Good.
y'all for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
feeling good today.
First time we ever went live on this joint. We're down here at the Collective, 601 11th Street, in the podcast studio. So super excited to get some topics out and let y'all know what's going on for some weeks coming up.
For sure. So today we are going to be letting Jordan Bell share with us about our big event that we have coming up on June 16th. It's called Not Your Average Tailgate at Black Heritage Night. You were a part of the first one that ever happened, and that was last year in 2022.
Yep.
So I'll get you to give us some information about that and just how do we connect the history, our Black history, to the game of baseball. So I'm gonna let you kick it off. What does Black Heritage Night mean to you?
What Black Heritage Night means to me is it allows African Americans to enjoy the game of baseball.
Mhm.
It gives a different vibe to it, a different feel to it. It was sort of like a block party at a baseball game.
Yeah.
And as I was saying earlier, I know the baseball fans are gonna kill me, but baseball is kind of boring. So you have to, well, at least to me it is. You have to do things to kind of bring people out, and I think Humble Hustle did that last year. Sort of like a block party feel, a family reunion kind of vibe
Yeah.
with the baseball, and of course, honoring Mr. Larry LeGrand was a huge piece to that.
Correct, correct. And I can kind of give a little bit of a breakdown of like how that even came about. I think I saw they did Black Heritage or African American Heritage Night in August, like 2 years before that. And I enjoyed it and I liked it, but I just felt like it could be a little bit more intentional rather than just kind of throwing up signs
Yeah,
or anything like that. It's like, hey, look, let's actually like honor some people. Let's show some history. Let's really dial into who really has carried this sport for a while, who's made up a lot, you know what I'm saying, a lot of history of this sport. And so going into it, it was very much a very intentional way of doing it, like a block party style, making sure that we got that family reunion feel, and it's not just us sitting in the stands watching because it ain't gonna last for so long. We need some
Yes.
drinks flowing, music, games,
Cornhole.
yeah,
Right.
food. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to Gina's, your cousin Clarence Hilton,
Hmm.
Marcus Wade, every vendor, everybody that took a part last year and made it what it was, because now it's definitely a thing. And I feel like there could be more events like that surrounding the sports that we have here
For
to
sure.
allow kids to see like, oh, like we're not in DC, but we got a professional team
Absolutely.
right down the street. So I think that's special. But before we even get into that, let people know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I think you hold a lot of history here in Roanoke, period. And so just having you down here, period, means a lot to what we're gonna speak about.
Well, I guess I've been deemed the
The
historian
historian.
of Roanoke.
Legendary.
Um,
Absolutely.
so Gainesboro has been the heart of what I've been trying to do, but the entire Black history in Roanoke City, Roanoke County, has been a very important, piece to it all. And
Correct.
so, just documenting that story, documenting that history, talking with people like Mr. Larry LeGrand, Richard Chubb, when it comes to baseball, Al Holland Sr.,
Hmm.
all of those individuals have helped me document the history of, not only Roanoke City, but Roanoke County as well. And so I had the privilege and honor of knowing Mr. LeGrand,
Hmm.
sitting with him, him telling his stories and just listening to him talk, just kind of reminded me of how important the people right here in Roanoke are. And like you said, we have very important major sports figures come out of Roanoke.
Correct. Correct.
Ah.
We're good. Let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
So, yeah, continue.
And so I got kind of distracted. And so, but Mr. LeGrand, he grew up in a place called Slade Hill, Pinker Court. It's two different communities, but it's in Roanoke County. If you're not familiar with the area, it's over there where Lowe's on 220 is, the Tanglewood area. That was an entire black community, black neighborhood. And Mr. LeGrand grew up in that neighborhood. He grew up on a farm. It's a story that he always used to tell. The way that he, grew and got his throwing arm strong was he used to dig holes on the farm to kind of keep the chicken coop in. So that's how he, strengthened his arm, was just on the farm. So he grew up very humble.
Yeah.
And one of the other stories was when he got recruited out of high school. And one of the first things that he did was his mother killed 2 chickens on their farm. And when he got recruited for baseball, she sent the 2 chickens with him for dinner. And I'm talking about these are humble beginnings.
Hey, that ain't a humble.
Wow.
I thought she was gonna say she offered him as a gift. Oh my God,
she sent them with him. And
there's a parting gift.
It was a parting gift.
Right.
Here, you take these to practice.
Take
right,
these
and
to
then
practice.
And he got to pluck them himself.
Yeah, all that. All that. So he, grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
Just one of those old country folks who we all come from,
yeah,
who we all,
sure
originate from, who had the ability to throw and hit a baseball. And so he was recruited straight out of high school. He actually didn't graduate before he was recruited. He went to Carver High School. And one of the interesting things, Carver, one of the interesting things is if you lived in Roanoke County, no matter where you were in Roanoke County, you went to Carver. Can you imagine how long of a drive that was?
Yeah, my grandfather, I think my mom will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think my grandfather, they used to walk like I want to say maybe 10 miles to get to school. Because you got to think of where they live.
Yeah.
To get way out there. And they used to walk the back way through the county. And I used to ask my grandfather stories of what was your experience when you walked? Did y'all ever go through stuff? And they definitely did. So that's pretty interesting.
But that's what Mr. LeGrand went through. And then, he played on the Satchel Paige All-Stars.
Yep.
And so basically, for those who don't know who Satchel Paige is, just imagine the LeBron James, Michael Jordan of baseball.
Yes.
And so Satchel Paige created this all-star team, and he actually recruited Mr. LeGrand to be the catcher. And so Mr. LeGrand, that's why you always used to see Mr. LeGrand with the Satchel Paige All-Star jersey, because he was Satchel Paige's last catcher. So the Yankees sent him to different minor league teams. And then, of course, he played for the Negro Leagues. And the Negro Leagues was, Jackie. Now, he didn't play with these individuals, but in the Negro Leagues, you had people like Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, all of these individuals who kind of sparked what baseball is now today.
Wow.
And Mr. LeGrand played in that same league with those same talented individuals.
And what's crazy is from some of the readings I've done, is all of those players would play here. This was a stop for all of them, or whether it was like summer league or anything. They would all make a stop in Roanoke. And Roanoke had a lot of different professional, minor league teams. From some of the readings I did like 2 years ago. So that was pretty interesting too.
It was a team, I think it was called the Black Cardinals in 1940.
They had the Roanoke, Black Cardinals, Roanoke. I want to say it was the Roanoke Cardinals too. And then they had the Roanoke Red Sox or Roanoke Sox or something like that. There's a couple teams. I want to say it's like 7 teams. I shot them over to Robin when we started working on design and stuff.
And see, back during that day, so Slade Hill had a team, Pinker Court had a team, but then a neighborhood in Roanoke City had a team, and so they all played against each other. And so that's how everybody knew each other. They would always play together, go out and play baseball, basketball.
Right.
One of the stories I remember Mr. LeGrand talking about is how Addison and Carver used to play against each other in baseball and basketball. And he was sitting with Mr. Chubb one day, and he used to, I'm talking about talk trash. They would just talk trash back and forth. You weren't better than me, and y'all had a good one, but I was better than this.
City and county board.
Just kept talking back and forth with each other. So that was real interesting to hear those two individuals tell those stories.
For sure, for sure. I'm excited, honestly, just to be able to honor him.
For sure.
And we were just talking about like even last year, we tried to get him out there. And and shout out to the Red Sox too because they've done something for him. They've honored him with like a bobblehead
Yeah.
one time, but I felt like, hey, keep giving this man his flowers. You know what I'm saying, before he's gone.
Absolutely.
And tragically, you could tell the story, but tragically, we wanted to get him this year, and not we lost him, but he's in a better place.
For
I would
sure.
say.
And, unfortunately, Mr. LeGrand passed away before, we could honor him again.
Yeah.
But I really think his legacy, lives on. He has children, grandchildren.
Yeah.
And now a lot of individuals in the city of Roanoke are starting to get more interested in baseball. As you were saying earlier,
Right.
You're starting to see that more. Now. And I really and truly think that, them knowing Mr. LeGrand now, knowing, hey, we got a professional baseball player right here. And again, as I said, Al Holland Sr. was a professional baseball player. So I think, continuing to honor Mr. LeGrand, honor people like Al Holland, giving them their flowers is a very important piece to kind of, changing the narrative of black boys play baseball too.
For sure.
For sure.
I think that was something that I just talked about today. It was like, I'm a girl of sports. I love sports to death, but like understanding the game of baseball, really giving the game of baseball my time. I don't think that I actually like took the time to really understand like how our history plays such a major role in baseball until I actually started working for UX and then like getting to know more black baseball players. Like that is huge to me to understand that like our legacy lives through the game of baseball. You hear football so often, you hear basketball so often, and baseball is very much overshadowed until you actually like take the time to really sit down and realize who are our, especially like here in Roanoke, who are our, legends. And some of them are actually very much significant in the game of baseball.
Absolutely.
And so I guess that's where I'm going to lead into my next question of, did you play baseball, X?
I did play baseball. I grew up playing baseball. I grew up in the county. I grew up in the city, and I went to county schools, and then my mother kept me in city sports. And I played baseball from the time I was probably 4, and all the way up into high school. That was something that my grandfather was just near and dear to, and was very much adamant on. If that boy know how to do anything, he's gonna know how to play baseball. If it was up to him, I wouldn't have went to college for football. I would have went to college for baseball. And now looking back, it's like, darn, if I would have gave my energy to this, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where I would be, but these older black men, they tell us this for a reason. They know where the longevity is, and they know, hey, if you put it ain't but so many of us trying. So if you go for it all the way, you might make it. Versus 50 of y'all trying to be LeBron James
and get one spot.
Right? So I for me to kind of have that vision for this night, for this event, is special because it's I don't have the biggest passion for baseball, but I have a foundation of my life, and it definitely starts with baseball very much. So I definitely play baseball, and it's near and dear to my heart.
And Jordan, we just gonna automatically assume that you play baseball because you just all the history, you giving it all to us. So
Jordan did triple jump.
He was a home run hitter.
Come on.
Now I did not play baseball. I was one of those kids who only focused on basketball.
Yeah.
Now of course we played in the street, stuff like that, but taking baseball serious was not something that I was going to do, because again, as a growing up, I just didn't think baseball was fun. I didn't want to sit out there and wait for the ball to come to me. But thinking back on it, I probably should have got into it. At least learn about it. But and even still today, I'm into baseball strictly for the history of it.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not about to watch a baseball game.
It's tough,
but
you gotta have
for the history.
You gotta have a couple drinks involved, some food, some entertainment involved.
Hit that ball.
You'd be good. It was funny, I'm thinking about it, and not to prolong anything, but I'm thinking about the video we shot. And thank you, Ryan, your brother, for helping me shoot that video last year, and seeing Nas as they shot it together. And Nas had never really been around it.
Yeah,
I think he might have played before or something, but watching them really almost fall in love with it, and like seeing Ryan throw it to him and him just like wanting to catch it so bad or wanting to hit the ball so bad. I'm like, yo, this is something we have to like continue to pass down through our history, or else we really will. There's other demographics that will take the lead in this. They'll take the lead in it,
and it gives us a different avenue. Baseball, football. You got baseball.
Correct.
You know, you can pick and choose what college, university you want to go to, or you can come straight out of high school.
Correct.
So it gives us a different avenue.
Correct.
You touched on something just right there for me a little bit, was like wishing, or I think you said you were only into baseball for the history. And it's like, dang, like I'm actually into it because my family, right? I'm the only oddball. I'm the only one that said, forget that. I'm going to do volleyball. I'm doing something completely opposite. But everybody knows ball and bat, like connect the ball to the bat, hit it. We know, my family knows sliding in dirt. Like that's what they like. That's what they did. And so I mean, too prissy. I like to too prissy. I can't get too dirty now. But I think that our history in it is just so significant. And so I guess like, where is the lack of I guess mentors in Black baseball history today? Like, what do we need in Roanoke to be able to inspire our young Black youth to want to try these, I wouldn't say new sports, but try something that not everybody else may be doing to break that barrier? And so how do we do that? And I know that may seem like a redundant question because we ask that in many facets of the things that we are trying to open our youth minds to. But how do we do it for baseball necessarily?
That's a good question.
I don't think it's a redundant question. I think it's the question that we ask about everything, and it's probably the same type of answer. We just don't see the representation.
Right.
You know, I didn't know about Negro League baseball until I was late 20s. So me growing up, I didn't know that. I knew about Jackie Robinson, but Jackie Robinson wasn't the first professional baseball player. He wasn't even the best Black baseball player. So we just don't see the representation. I'm sure when you played rec baseball, the coaches were Black. But that probably didn't last too much longer after that. So I think it goes back to everything that we talk about is just a lack of representation of Black men, of Black women in softball, Black men in baseball. And so we just don't think we can do it.
We don't see it. I work with the kids at Addison, and when baseball season comes around, Mr. Drew is trying to find kids. I'm like, how many kids you got, Mr. Drew? I got 6. And I'm like, dang, bro. So the kids in group, I'm like, bro, you wrestle. You not wrestling again until December. Like, what are you doing? Bro, play baseball. I'm not playing no baseball, bro. I'm like, dog, like, you don't understand how it can be very much parallel. You need one for the other. And so we got like, I want to say, honestly, we probably got like 4 kids from the group that never played to go out and play baseball. And they end up falling in love with
it.
About to
ask, did they love it?
They end up falling in love with it because one, they get to start, right? They get to automatically they on the playing field, so they get another jersey they can walk around with proud, and it's something that they end up kind of relating to life. That you find a way to relate that thing to life, and so I'm the same way. I wish there was more, rec leagues and coaches that would push it a little bit more, because I think it would diversify our kids' minds of like, I don't have to just play basketball. And I'm not saying nothing's wrong with basketball. You shoot your shot, go 100 miles an hour. Or football. I was 100 miles an hour in football, but I also was very much like provided perspective of like, you don't have to just do this. You want to play soccer, you can play soccer.
Explore your
options. Keep your mind diversified. Don't just get stuck in one lane, because that's not how life is anyway.
For sure. And I think that's where we lead into about literally Black Heritage Night is we do have 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. I mean, our parents that may not have ever stepped foot on a baseball field or been inside of a stadium. And so that's exactly what it's about. It's about connecting us to our baseball history and celebrating those who did the best that they could to be a representation in our community.
Correct.
Any remaining thoughts on this event? I mean, I know it's near and dear to my heart, and it's my love for this event has grown over a year. So I know that it's probably sitting with you two very heavy today.
Yeah.
this is extremely important. I think this year is a lot more significant than last year is.
Oh, talk to me.
Ooh.
Because you had the first one,
right?
But Mr. LeGrand's not here.
He's not here
physically
no more. I know.
anymore.
I know.
So this is such an important day and night and evening that we make sure that we come out and support this event to honor Mr. LeGrand.
I appreciate that.
Honor Mr. LeGrand and I know his family's going to be there. I spoke to a few of his grandchildren. They're grateful for everything that you all are doing.
Okay.
And I just think it's very important, especially this year since he's not here, because he was going to be there.
He was going to be there.
I was
going to figure out a way.
Yeah,
I had to pull up on him myself. I was going to get him there.
He knew about it.
Okay, he did know about it.
Okay.
So
he knew about
That's
it.
Special.
His grandchildren knew about it. I actually just spoke to his granddaughter a few weeks ago, and said she said that his her grandmother had already been contacted, and so she'll be there.
Okay.
Wow.
So he knew about it, and so I just think it's very important that we go out there and really show him support. And y'all brought out Al Holland and Mr. Chubb,
Mr. McCad. Mr. McCad.
Mr. McCad. He go way back.
He bought the old FUBU joint back.
You got Peter Lewis coming out there. So it's just a very important night, very important people that's going to be involved in it. And I think this year is extremely important because, as I said, Mr. LeGrand's not here physically with us anymore, but his spirit is going to be there.
That spirit is definitely going to be there. I do think it's going to be a special night as well. I think that weekend, we just talked about like how it even came about and how the first night, I didn't want to step on toes, but I wanted to be respectful of my community because we don't have that. We got a very powerful community, but it's not the biggest community, so we can't split up. We can't split.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, on a weekend like that. So to see it happen on another day where now we get a full weekend of straight blackness. You know what I'm saying? Like,
say it again.
Straight blackness.
Right. So we get a weekend for for every day. It's gonna be something, and we'll be highly celebrated. And I think that's special. And I think right after that game, you wake up in the morning and you go straight to
Juneteenth at Eureka Park, starting at 12 o'clock. We're actually going to do a prayer breakfast.
Okay.
And
I knew something spiritual was coming.
Yeah.
Come on. Prayer breakfast.
Miss Opal.
You praying?
I don't want no bad spirits over there. But Miss Opal Lee, grandmother of Juneteenth, actually asked us when she came to visit last year to do a prayer breakfast and a walk, kind of connecting us with Galveston, Texas. So we're going to start at First Baptist at 9 o'clock on June 17th at First Baptist Gainesboro. They'll do a prayer breakfast for about an hour, and then we'll start the march from First Baptist Church to Eureka Park at 10, probably to about 11 o'clock, and then the festival starts at 12.
Okay.
And boy, y'all gonna have a time.
Make sure y'all don't have too many drinks at the tailgate.
Who was that?
Emmett Till?
Imitations.
I thought you said Emmett Till.
No, I said we're gonna have a good time, and that's not an imitation. That's for real. Y'all, we're gonna have a good time out there. We are. It's gonna be a time. You put us all together. It's always great vibes.
Absolutely.
Always good vibes. Always good vibes. I just want to shout out one more time the tailgate. Not sure. Did you want to shout out, or do you want me to shout out?
You shout it out, but I want to see if you remember all the all the link information and stuff.
I think I can't do my job.
Put them to the test, y'all.
Not your average tailgate at Black Heritage Night, Salem Red Sox Stadium. This is June 16th. I say it again, June 16th.
Tupac's birthday.
Okay. Dear mama, this for you.
I ain't mad at you.
Hail Mary.
Right. Yes, tailgate starts at 5. I know y'all getting off work. Just make sure you slide through.
Bring your outfit to work.
Bring your outfit to work. Change in the bathroom. Drop your kids off. Actually, bring them with you. And let's just have a good time. Just think about all the vibes that you see in other cities of tailgates and block parties and things like that. And that's what we're looking for. Food trucks, drinks flowing, vibes, energy, food, games, conversations, social. A safe environment, and then it's just going to lead right over into the game where you can do the same thing. Concessions. We got a nice lineup for the first pitches. Last year we did it really, really big. This year we're doing it even better. We got some really cool people, some monumental people that'll be throwing the first pitches, and we got some nice engagement and things for you all. If there's any way you all want to support, if you want to volunteer, please hit that link below, or email us at the Humble Hustle Co @gmail.com. If you want tickets, you see the thing going, the whole.
He don't remember it, y'all. It's NYA
Christ.
tailgate.eventbrite.com. He don't remember it. He can see it scrolling, but he don't remember.
NYA tailgate.eventbrite.com. Thank you, Larry LeGrand, for your tribute, your impact to society, your impact on me. We're not even meeting you before, but definitely an impact on me. We appreciate you, and we're definitely gonna honor you.
I just thank you guys for first doing the podcast that we could share with others what this event is about. And I look forward to seeing everybody out there on June 16th. As it's going to be an evening to remember. So great spirits, great vibes. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for having me, man. I'm enjoying June 16th, Friday. As you said, it's going to be a weekend event. It's Father's Day too, so that's going to be a great Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's going to be a real nice event. I'm looking forward to it. Want to thank Humble Hustle again for always putting together something for the city that we need. You're kind of creating the culture that needs to be here in Roanoke.
I appreciate that
for our community. So really appreciate you all down here at Humble Hustle, and I'm looking forward to it. And as always, much respect to Mr. LeGrand and his family.
Absolutely. It's love. And we'll see y'all, I guess, the next day at June 17th at the prayer breakfast.
Yeah, we're going to be praying and breakfasting for sure.
Bring your cloth.
Bring your cloth and the oil.
Don't bring no bad spirits with you.
Peace, y'all. All right. It's still live, too. So y'all watch y'all mouth.